But make no mistake, these policies are on the ballot. Every single one of them.
President Obama is finally right about something. His policies are on the ballot.
Voting 92% of the time with the president, whether you support him or not, doesn't work here in North Carolina. It is time for someone to reach across party lines and finally get something done in this country.
Boy, that second ad there, Kay Hagan, that was her voice narrating an NRSC ad, which I'm going to get into in a minute, by the way, a Republican Party ad on that same issue that they've been hitting her on.
That is a powerful ad. And the whole question of the relationship between Democrats in the Senate and the president right now is fascinating, especially because he seems to be kind of inserting himself and creating more problems for them. I find this.
You had a great story in the Times this morning. The backbiting has already begun. The finger pointing, the blame game, Democrats, blind quotes, blaming the White House for all their problems.
I find the psychology of this most fascinating, right? Because you have President Obama, who is this ascendant politician, wanted to be a transcendent politician. Now it seems like he's unable to confront and absorb the fact that he's unpopular in these states, some of them purple states, and he keeps kind of pushing himself out there. And, you know, all presidents have egos, and they tend to be oversized but surprisingly fragile, and that's part of what we're seeing here.
You know, the problem Republicans are having closing the sale, Dan, and you found this, I know, on the road, is that they're not trusted as change agents. Yes, but they have sold the argument that, hey, President Obama and Democrats, they're gumming things up, but they're not buying the Republicans. And the Republicans themselves know it. You know, that ad was paid for not by the National Republican Senatorial Committee. They officially changed their name legally to NRSC because, as a source told me, their name had 3 words in it that are very unpopular: National, Republican, and Senatorial. And they realized they couldn't have that. How do Republicans close that gap?
Well, I think they close it with the kind of ad that you just put on the air, which is to try to bring it back to President Obama. You know, we've talked about this all year long, that the national atmosphere in a midterm election, the president's on the line. And he has been a drag on Democrats all through this campaign, and there have been things that have gotten in the way of that for Republicans that has made it more difficult, and one of them is their own bad brand and questions about them. But in the end, they're going to want to try to nationalize this around Obama.
Luke, closing argument for the Democrats. First of all, did they mess up by distancing themselves almost too much from Obama, where they've made this even too effective?
Well, I think in these individual state races, it's probably better to try and be as most independent as you can. But looking into the poll, what I found fascinating, those 2 main issues, job creation and breaking the gridlock. Republicans overwhelmingly do better on job creation. Democrats overwhelmingly do better on breaking the gridlock. So in theory,
pocketbook voters, they're in trouble. But Washington dysfunction voters, they got a shot.
And so in terms of playing up the independents, if you want to be the breaking the gridlock candidate, that's what you do.